Assalamu alaikum, people. You know what I see on this internet every day? I see dudes going at each other, man, for whatever reason they going at each other for. They going at each other, they disrespect each other, and then they'll make a back call channel, and then they'll try to straighten it out, and they'll try to come and clean it up. But the damage is already done. Once you start disrespecting somebody on here, the damage is done already, man. I mean, me personally, I ain't gonna never trust you no more. Once you start disrespecting me or disrespecting my family, I'm not gonna trust you no more. Even though if you apologize, I'm just keeping you real. I'm not gonna respect you. I'm not gonna trust you. I'm not gonna do none of that because if you had a problem with me or have a problem with another individual, it's easy to reach out towards other individuals because everybody have everybody numbers, bro. Everybody's connected with everybody. So the thing is this, man. Dudes get on here and they disrespect you, and then either one of their friends or their homeboy, they admonish them to the point. Then you got to go back and you got to flip it and you got to change it. You got to change the narrative and all stuff like that. But once you get on here and start disrespecting somebody, that's how you really feel about that person. You know, see me, I'm not infallible. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. But if I don't like you, bro, I don't like you, man. I'm gonna tell you I don't like you. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like you. I'm gonna tell you why I don't trust you. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not gonna sit here and forgive you just because you did some faulty shit, to a whole lot of individuals. See, I grew up in a section where dudes was straightly being backdoored, cutthroats, and all that type of stuff, man. So I understand in its totality on its highest level on how that stuff go, man. And you just can't trust it anymore. You got to always, be on point. You got to always be on the lookout and things of that nature. You can't even ride in the car with certain dudes anymore in life, bro. I remember it was a time, man, that we used to get in the car. We used to be 7, 8, 9 deep in the car. Hey, no care in the world, bro. Now, you can't even do that, man. You can't even drive in the passenger seat with one of your partners. This is why I don't function in a particular type of arena. I don't even take jobs in the United States ghetto. If I do take on a job inside the United States ghetto, I don't even charge for it, man. I just go over there, and it'd be small little jobs like a garbage disposal or faucet, something like that. I don't even charge them, man. I'll go over there and do it, and I get out of there, man. I'll tell them have a nice day. Because one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure my good deeds outweigh my bad deeds, if you understand what I'm saying. Because when we was coming up, man, we did a whole lot of faulty shit. We did a whole lot of wrongdoing. We was representing the faulty culture and all to that, things to that nature. But you have to be a man to understand that you wasn't nothing and you was a piece of shit. See, these dudes on this internet, bro, that quote unquote call themselves gang members. And I don't know why they still trying to be gang members, bro, because you on this internet, you're not a gang member no more, bro. You're not even a member, bro. Because you're not out there with them people. I'm going to always explain that. I'm always going to say that. Bro, if you're not in the field, you're not banging no more, bro. Your expiration date being came into flourish. So you're not a part of whatever it is. So this is why I don't understand when dudes be like, oh, man, you can't speak on this. You can't speak on that. You can't speak on this. You can't speak on that. Man, brothers can speak on whatever they want to speak on, bro, because you're not in that game atmosphere, bro. Just because the brother didn't grow up a gang member don't mean he can't speak about gang activity, bro. You guys don't say nothing to the white folks. You guys don't say nothing to none of them people, but you guys say something to other individuals, man. And you can't pick and choose who can speak on the gang culture, bro. You can't speak on what's going on. And then I always see a lot of dudes that still have these connections to their gangs. They don't speak on certain individuals out here on some bullshit. They don't do it, man. But they'll speak on your section or your old, like my old section, the 60s. I see all these dudes speaking on the 60s. I don't care. That's what they want to do. They want to do. But I never see them speak on their shit, their section, their homies, or anything like that. But they'll run Big U name in the mud. They'll run 600 name in the mud. They'll run my name in the mud. They'll run all these dudes named Kev Mack and and all these other dudes named in the mud, Rose, and all these type of other individuals, they'll run that section over there in the Crenshaw district in the mud and make content, but they don't make content on their own, bro. Ain't that something? They don't talk about how their homies was up in the penitentiary, being fags, and they don't talk about how their homeboys came out here and caught a murder, another motherfucking murder after doing 40 years and shit like that. They don't talk about that shit. You know why? Because they homies will check them and dictate on what the fuck they doing on their platform, bro. Them dudes is really not standing on their own. They are basically being controlled, And it baffles me, man, how these dudes do that, bro. But I understand and I understand that them dudes ain't really like that, bro. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. Dudes is not really standing on what they say they stand on. They got these monikers and these names and acting like they brainwashing the people, and they be on there putting on a show, just like Loose Cannon. He was out here putting on a show. A lot of these other dudes out here putting on a show. I even hear dudes, man, they even try to tell dudes to go spin the block and try to do something to other people, man. And I be like, come on, bro, you don't supposed to be saying no shit like that. Because one thing about information, man, this is one thing about information. You can brainwash dummies. The TVs, the radio, the internet, the networks, they use these devices and these concepts to brainwash the masses of the people, bro. Once you keep on saying something over and over and over and over and over and over again, it becomes the truth, even if it's not the truth. Or it becomes the norm, even if it's not the norm. And this is what these dudes do. So if a person telling you, oh man, I wouldn't take that shit, and he has this big old platform. He said, man, I won't take this shit. Man, if I was doing it, I'll do it like this and I'll do it like that. And he don't even understand, man, that these dudes would take on that. You would brainwash a Negro to do that. And you might not say you doing it. You might say, man, that ain't got nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you, bro. And I'm going to tell you why it got everything to do with you. The majority of the mass of the people, brother, are followers. Sheeps. They look for leaders, man. They may see you on the internet. They might like your charisma. They might like your get down. They might like your persona. And they're going to try to emulate that. And they're going to follow that. So if you're saying that you was this and you was that and this is the way you may handle that, some dudes may go into that extent and do that, bro. So you might get a innocent individual hurt just because you got, quote unquote, how y'all call it, it's content. Y'all saying it's content. And it's really not content, man, because words are powerful, man. And I'm sure all you guys know this. The words that come up out your mouth or come on your platform, bro, you have an audience that gravitate towards you. So if you out there, you're saying that, I don't know why y'all argue with this dude. If y'all think this dude's a problem, man, y'all need to go do this and do that and do this and do that. They'll do that, man. I see a lot of dudes do that. It's just not one individual, brother. I see a lot of dudes that do that, bro. I see a lot of individuals, man, that it comes into play where a lot of stuff has become selective. If something applied to one individual, it should apply to everybody across the board. In the gang culture, in the criminal aspect, but in the non-affiliate world, in the corporate world, it doesn't apply like that. You on your own. Them rules don't even apply. So it just get to the point, man, where I think that brothers have to be careful on how they out here, going at each other, man. I think it's stupid, bro. Me personally, I ain't gonna never sit up here and go after nobody, man. If you, like I said, if you ain't did nothing to me or little bro or my family, you don't see me say nothing to you, man. I don't care. I got a dude, he always talking shit about me. Don't know me from Adam and Eve, bro. But I tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. I guarantee you he can't stand next to me. I guarantee you that, because I'm not gonna play with him. I'm just that type of individual. If you are my enemy and you come and you brought some type of harm to me or my family, bro, I'm not gonna play with you. Period. And me, I don't put myself in harm's way. meaning that I don't go to certain elements, certain situations and stuff like that because I know me. I safeguard me. I don't safeguard them, even though I'm not scared of them. I safeguard me because I have something better to live for. I have something that I have to take care of, out here. And I'm just not the type of person gonna put myself in harm's way just because, somebody else's stupidity. I'm not gonna do that. But when you dealing with that type of aspect, a lot of brothers, they don't understand that because a lot of brothers be looking for recognition, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. If you didn't get the recognitions when you was out there millie rocking on the block, you're not gonna get it now, man. It's too late. It's a different time and it's a different era. You're gonna get told on for sure. You'll sit around, man, and you're gonna look stupid and you can trick yourself over off the streets, which a lot of people have done. It's a lot of dudes have been big dummies out here. And basically we need to use them big dummies as pillars on not how to be, bro. It's a lot of big dummies out here, man. A lot of brothers that went to jail, man, behind some faulty shit. You have brothers getting on podcasts and basically brothers just sitting there and putting themselves in RICOs and validating certain statements and certain crimes on the internet. That happened. And the cold part about it is I'm gonna tell you how delusional people are. You see, the boy Loose Cannon. Let me use him as an example. Y'all know I can't stand that dude. I can't stand him, and I can't stand his father. I don't have nothing against his other family, but them two, I can't stand them because they is on the same type of time. Loose Cannon is so delusional, bro, to the point he think if he gets some time, he think he ain't gonna have no problems. He finna have a whole bunch of problems. They waiting on that dude, bro. And he think they not. He's so much in his mind, and I guess the people around him think that nobody is waiting on him. They waiting on that brother, man. To hit, I don't care if the state, the federal, they waiting on this dude, man. And when they sit there, when they waiting on this dude, he gonna think, even though if he get found guilty and his paperwork good, bro, they still waiting on him. The man told on nationwide YouTube, bro. The man got up on the statement, man, and validate and said that Big U made him and somebody else him and his boys go do this robbery, and they got back and they counted up the money, and Big U did this and Big U did that. Y'all know the story, man. He's finna have problems because of that, bro. He's gonna have problems because of that. And a lot of you guys think he's not gonna have no problem because of that. He is gonna have, the brother, he told. He straight told. The whole world know he told. So I'm just using that as an example, man, because this is what dudes do, bro. You sit here, these dudes get on this internet, and they be thinking they somebody, and a lot of times, half of these dudes, they be on drugs. They be high, they be drunk, they be on that lean, and they get to start talking, man. I be like, man, dude, shut the fuck up. And they don't even know what they doing, bro, because they not in their right state of mind, bro. This is why it's important, man, when you doing your job or doing work or anything, you don't be intoxicated. And you don't need to be intoxicated, period, man, because if you out here and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, you want all your faculties. You want to be clear-minded. And a lot of these dudes, bro, they're not clear-minded, man. They're not. And that's the problem, man. You brothers got to stop going back and forth with each other, man, tearing each other down, bro. If a dude don't like you, man, so what? So what? So what he don't like you? If he say something about you, if it ain't true, man, so what? For one thing, bro, if you've been out there in them streets and you built up your character and your reputation, man, they can't take that from you, man. The only people they gonna try to please, man, is the non-affiliates, man. And when they try to please these non-affiliates, man, they just, so what, man? It doesn't even matter, man, because at the end of the day, they not in your world, man. You're moving at the same sound and heartbeat every day. You're making sure you do what you have to do. And brother, brothers got to stand on y'all discipline. Don't get in your emotions, man. Maintain your discipline. I see a lot of brothers get mad, man, because, no disrespect, to anybody like that, man. And I know Tony, I know Cartoon. I seen some dudes calling him a homosexual and all that type of stuff. And I start laughing, man, because they don't know him. They don't know him, bro. See, that's what these dudes go to. I noticed that when you dealing with any people that come from the United States ghetto, at any type of things uh, that contribute to that culture, their go-to is to call you a fag, to call you a rat, call you a buster, and all that type of stuff. Because what they try to do is they try to destroy your manhood. This is what they try to do. They try to leak false information to destroy your manhood, bro. And this is what a lot of these dudes do, even if they got the wrong information, man. You know, this is why when you brothers, you content creators, y'all get information about somebody, man, you might as well just call them and ask them, or make sure you double and triple check that information, man, because somebody can be lying on that brother, man. Somebody may not like them individuals, man, that y'all getting into it with, bro. And this is how it goes, man. You know, just because you guys be biased. I see a lot of dudes, bro, on this internet be biased because they don't like certain individuals, man. You know, and the cold part about it, 9 times out of 10, nobody has met anybody on this internet, all, you know, so to speak. Nobody know each other, bro, like that. You know, roll with them, know them personally, or know their character, or nothing like that. Brothers don't know nobody, man. But they'll come to this assumption, and you know, I watched the boy OD Slim talk about me. I don't even know this dude, bro. I don't even know him. I don't even know nothing about him. I just know when I was around, bro, and we was going over there, and he don't want to hear the stories, man, how the 60s used to do the 50s, man. We used to go over there. Dudes don't be want to hear this type of stuff, man. And it's like, man, bro, I don't even know you. You getting your information from somebody else. You know, he told me, he said some shit like, I got ran out the 60s, and they did this, and they did that, and come on, man. Because he don't know. He's been misinformed. He really don't know, bro. And I don't even hold him against that, man. That's why I don't say shit. I'm like, dude, you don't know. You know, shit like that. He's like, ugh. You know, you guys know how that is, man. When y'all see somebody that they know that you know that can't stand next to you, you'll be looking at them like, I'll call them all bluffs. You know, dudes be masturbating at the mouth, you know, trying to look tough, you know. Like I said, there's no disrespect towards anybody or nothing like that, but I'm just saying that you brothers, man, have to be mindful and be careful, man, how y'all be going at each other, man, because y'all don't even know each other, bro. Y'all don't know nothing at each other. If y'all want to agree to disagree, okay, man, so what? That's what it is. It's content, it's content. You can run the content and you can disagree with that individual, and it should be no big old hiccup about certain things. But when you start attacking a person, you started, you know, hitting below the belt and messing with his family, messing with his kids, messing with his wife, you know, tearing his reputation down, calling him a fag and he's not a fag, and calling him this and he calling him that and he's not that, bro. Hey, man, you guys got to be mindful of that, because I'm going to tell you like this, bro. One day, y'all going to do that to the wrong person, and they going to make you stand on it. Assalamu alaikum.